What up, people? Man, first off, I like to apologize for my laziness lately. I've run into spells. Sometimes I'd rather watch MMA than talk about MMA, and I think I actually made a video for my thoughts on UFC 93 and my review, not review, but my predictions for UFC 94, but got too lazy to actually upload it. Sometimes that happens. I'm trying to work on that though. I think I got enough time for a New Year's resolution. um, but in any case, I just think I'll just share my thoughts. Whew, I think last night's main event, it almost played out like a very violent morality play. And what we learned last night was the dangers of self-delusion and the power of honesty. Yeah, that's right, self-delusion and honesty. And these two qualities were represented well, I think, by the Prodigy Penn and George Rush St. Pierre, respectively. My experience with Penn fans and what I've seen of BJ is he's obviously a guy with remarkable talent. Everybody across the board knows how talented this guy is, how much, natural ability he has. He's definitely done some amazing things in his career. I mean, everyone knows about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, World Championships. Everyone knows about, his fight against Kyle and him going up in welterweight to beat Matt Hughes. However, I think sometime over the line, a little too much stock was taken into these achievements and this ability. As remarkable as it is, we're only human. I don't think we'll ever, especially at the rate that MMA is evolving, we're not going to see everybody win every weight class. And the welterweight championship that BJ Penn won against Matt Hughes, that is in a different world. That's in a different landscape. The division itself is in a different landscape than that, and that was made evident tonight. BJ Penn put huge pressure on himself, with his smack talk, constantly running the mouth. I have no problem with smack talk, especially if it's backed up. But when it's not backed up like this, whew, I believe, as GSP's trainer said best, that's a lot of razors to eat right there. And like John Fitch, he came in there, tried his best, got rolled, and nobody had a bad thing to say about him. He tried his best, and he stood the storm. BJ Penn called this man a little, sorry, little Saturday still left in my voice, but BJ Penn went in there and called this man a bitch. Called him a coward, called him a quitter. And what happened last night was one of the most brutal muggings I've ever seen. He beat the shit out of BJ Penn. He whooped BJ Penn's ass. He pistol whipped BJ Penn. Just manhandled him all over the ring and beat him. Just any thoughts or myths from that first fight about what BJ Penn did or what GSP didn't do was just simply erased by just the drubbing of last night. I like to have more sympathy on Penn. He's obviously a great fighter. He's obviously a brave fighter. He believed what he said, and he was ready to go back it up. That deserves a certain amount of respect. However, it also deserves a bit of accountability, some accountability. He called out this fight. He wanted this fight so bad. Made predictions on what he was going to do, and didn't come anywhere close. I must admit, the $40 that I paid, $20 to the guy buying it, another $20 for the beer. I admit that what I paid, it was worth seeing BJ eat his words. However, this fell far short of the biggest fight in UFC history. It wasn't even much of a fight, to tell you the truth. I hope that BJ Penn grows from this fight. I really hope he does. It'd be very dangerous if he doesn't and starts to continue with his own self-delusionment. But what he got last night was a hard dose of reality. You can't just beat anybody without trying. You can't just beat anybody. You have to be honest about yourself and your abilities, and work where you work best. Do what you do best. BJ Penn is a great lightweight champion. He's a great lightweight. I hope he continues his desire to fight, and I hope he continues to do well in the lightweight division. George Rush St. Pierre. Congratulations to him. That was a big win for him, a great statement made, and it is amazing to see this kid's continual dominance of the welterweight division, and his growth as a fighter is just skyrocketing at an alarming rate. People say scary a lot, but this guy is scary. That's it. Not a whole lot can be said to what's said, but I just gotta applaud him on his humility, on his grace and class as a champion, and his willingness to, I think he improved so much because he doesn't stick to what works. He doesn't think he's perfect. He doesn't think he's infallible. He knows that there are things he has to work at, and he's constantly getting these things done. I think Joe Rogan said it best when he was talking about after the first round with Penn, he was a little scared. He was being honestly, who would admit that? Or even after his losses to Matt Serra and Matt Hughes, he readily says that he was beaten by a better fighter than himself. Yes, he made excuses later on, but he comped to the excuses, and he's able to say that the man who beat him is the better man. Not too many people can say that. And I think that's why that makes George St. Pierre the fighter that he is. He does not live in an illusion. He is able to learn from his mistakes. He's able to admit his mistakes, and that what gives him the ability to overcome his shortcomings and just put on spectacular performances like he did against BJ Penn and against John Fitch, Matt Hughes, Matt Serra. The list goes on. It's going to be probably a long time before we see this guy lose, but when he does, I'm sure he'll be back strong. Any questions about his character, any questions about his mental strength, I think should be just really put to rest. He's an incredible fighter and an incredible champion, and not much more I could say about him. Two great warriors. However, there's not a whole lot, you can say about that fight, except as my dad had told me, a good big man beats a good little man, and this was just not even close. I'll be back with a little bit more of this. Big shout outs to all my contemporaries. Big shout outs to all my subscribers. I'd like to thank all my new guys subscribing to me. I really appreciate that, and I'll try not to disappoint. Come at you with some of that good. Alright.